facing a new challenge. It has never been about that. It has just been ki paise. But like
If you know the pitfalls of AI, कि कहाँ पे यूज सही है इसका और कहाँ पे ये मतलब पूरी तरीके से खराब कर देगा चीज़ें, then you'll become a better developer. But I don't think like worrying will help.
But did you worry?
I was in a perpetual state of worry एक time पे, and then at least till Spiky, and then when I got in I was very happy. Work करते रहते हैं, छोड़ने के बाद I was like nah, ऐसा हो जाए. Okay.
You think knowledge, if you have knowledge, you realize you're smarter than other people, then the anxiety goes away. कि हाँ मतलब मुझे आता ही है, job आदमी तो कर लग जाएगी.
Our group is the top group, like they are the top coders of our whole college, I would say.
6 months ago, we started an on-site computer science program for 6 months called Super30. 40 of the 50 people who joined got placed. And in this video, we have 3 such people, 6 months after they got placed. What all have they learned? Various compensation packages in which people get placed in. The lowest usually is around 8 LPA. The highest this time was 50 LPA, and Chaitanya eventually got an 80 LPA offer. So you'll find 3 people with almost the same skill level by the time they graduated. There's literally no difference in what they know and how intelligent they are. But a lot of circumstances lead to the final compensation offer, which honestly I don't think even matters if you're working in a good company, which is the case for all 3 of them. Keshav works at 8 LPA at an on-site company in Noida. Deepen works remotely at around 40 LPA in a company out of the US. And Chaitanya this month joined 𝗟𝗶𝘀, which is a Solana company, completely remotely from India. We'll talk through their journey. What was their journey when they joined Super30? How have the last 6 months been? What is the difference in learning through building projects on site versus learning that actually happens once you join a company? You'll notice all 3 of them are fairly chill, but I can tell you around 9 months ago when they joined Super30, most of them were in a very anxious state. And that usually happens once you join a company. You'll see a very stark difference in people's attitudes. You'll see that here as well. They're all professionals, adults now, talking through their journey of what happens when you join a company. Deepen is currently in his final year. Chaitanya will graduate this year. Keshav graduated last year. All 3 of them fairly young folks working in different niches of computer science. We're starting the next Super30 next month. There'll be 60 people this time. The enrollment's already closed. It'll happen in the same campus as you see behind me. The same campus will also run a 4-year computer science program, the enrollments for which are still open, linked in the description. If you're around 17 to 21 and want to learn computer science over the span of 4 years in an alt college, you may join Hanedec School. You'll be working along with the Super30 people. This is probably one of the best places in the country to learn computer science over the next 4 years. With that, let's get into the pod. Let's understand the day in the life of a student after you graduate from Super30.
Super30 में starting से ही join किया था, and then after like I think 3 months period के बाद और भी counter offers थे, but फिर उसके बाद मैं एक था, फिर उसके बाद नोवोस्टैक ज्वाइन किया. देन नोवोस्टैक में काफ़ी सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स पे काम किया है. अभी मेन बैकस्ट्रैक्ट है, एजेंटिक बैक एंड फ्रेमवर्क सॉर्ट ऑफ, और काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें सीखी हैं लाइक न्यू लैंग्वेजेस, गो एंड स्टफ. काफ़ी सारे लैंग्वेजेस पे काम किया है, तो पाइथन, गो, नोड, समटाइम्स सी. तो या अभी तक ये चल.
Alright, Deepen, quick intro.
हेलो, आई एम दीपेन, और मेरा तो कुछ सिंपल ही रहा है. Super30 ज्वाइन किया, फिर 2-3 दिन में ही आपके साथ काम करने लग गया. नहीं, 2-3 दिन में रिफरल मिलना स्टार्ट हो गया था. फिर उसके बाद लगभग 5-6 दिन में आपके साथ काम करना स्टार्ट हो गया. फिर उसके बाद एट द एंड ऑफ 3 or 4 months फिर ये वाली कंपनी ज्वाइन कर ली.
I am Chaitanya, but like Super30 journey was I sort of barged my way in. फिर उसके बाद क्या कहते हैं, got one referral into Spiky, worked there for 2.5 months, then moved to Wildcard after IIT Roorkee वाला convocation, and after that switched to 𝗟𝗏𝘀 very recently. Like I've been working for a week now.
How was your interview?
सो इंटरव्यू प्रोसेस तो मुझे लगा था कि सिंपल, आई गेस DSA पे डेवलपमेंट राउंड होगा, पर वो थोड़ा मतलब कंसेप्चुअली डेटाबेसिस कॉन्सेप्ट्स पे चले गए थे, तो वो सारी चीज़ें थी. और मतलब SD1 वाला टाइप का इंटरव्यू नहीं था, मतलब जो प्योर फंडामेंटल्स होते हैं कंप्यूटर साइंस के वो पूछ रहे थे एक तरीके से. इवन इन डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स, तो फॉर एग्जांपल लाइक रेड ब्लैक ट्रीज वगैरह के बारे में पूछ लिया था.
सही में?
हाँ.
Okay.
तो वो तो मतलब जो मुझे याद था वो बता देता. बाकी फिर सिंपल क्वेश्चन थे, और वो इसलिए पूछा था आई गेस क्योंकि डेटाबेस फंडामेंटल्स में मतलब पोस्टग्रेस का आई गेस जो मेन डेटा स्ट्रक्चर है इज RBCs. आई थिंक RBCs एंड वन अदर ट्री. तो इस टाइप का इंटरव्यू था. या
I think I remember you telling me Kafka के भी internals पूछे.
हाँ, काफका के काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें पूछी थी. काफका से रिलेटेड चीज़ें थी और कंकरेंसी. हाँ, एक्चुअली मैं हायर कर रहे थे वो गो के लिए, बैकएंड के लिए. गो नहीं आती थी मुझे. कंकरेंसी और इन सब चीज़ों, कंकरेंसी पैरेललिज्म बेसिक पूछे थे, इन सब चीज़ों को. तो जो क्लास ली थी आपने गो वाली, उसी का सारा जो था.
Got it. Makes sense.
मेरा इतना ज़्यादा मुश्किल तो नहीं था. There were just 3 rounds. First round was what projects have you built right now, like what are the tech stacks you have been worked on, और क्या क्या like coding practices यूज़ करते हो, वैसा ही basic से questions थे. और next round was मुझे एक लूम भेजना था, लाइक द प्रॉब्लम दैट अकर्ड ड्यूरिंग माई कोडिंग, ड्यूरिंग बिल्डिंग अ प्रोजेक्ट, एंड हाउ आई टैकल्ड दैट प्रोजेक्ट प्रॉब्लम, लाइक हाउ आई सॉल्व्ड इट, हाउ आई डिड द रिसर्च एंड ऑल. And the next one was the final round. It was, he gave me one feature and I had to build that feature, and I built it, and then I got hired.
Like I was given everyone was given an assignment. It was an open assignment, React Native, wallet adapter, Phantom, and yeah, basic dating app that they were working on. उस time पे POC जो था, I was going to work on that. Spent 3 days on it, back and forth from office, and yeah, finished that assignment. Established wallet adapter नहीं चल रहा, तो I established deep links, discovered about that, then just showed that assignment to the person who was responsible for hiring. That was approved. Then went on to the next round, which was founder के साथ बस chit chat, and yeah, all good. I got in, worked there. उसके बाद फिर जब wild card का interview was थोड़ा harder than this. This was easy, like do a project, get in. Second thing, जो wild card का project था और whatever interview experience था, that was थोड़ा lengthy. It was design, how would you design your own indexer. They were looking for a person जो कि swaps Solana पे आके index कर ले, is able to infer price data about tokens and whatnot, after without, while optimizing for RPC costs and API calls and all whatnot. So I had to build that. उसका बस एक intuition explain किया, and then it was a 10-day work trial of some sort, जिसके अंदर I just worked on that POC MVP, and once that was built and high level चल रहा था, then got in, and yeah, continued working on that basically. So that was wildcard. And third, EXO was आपका, so EXO was a reach out. Then I one culture fit call where I showed my projects again, proof of work, क्या काम किया, कहाँ काम किया. Then it was how will you design a staking contract, where I had to define कि कैसे मैं pools बनाने का instruction बनाऊंगा Solana पे, and whatnot. उस पे stake कैसे करूँगा, withdraw कैसे करूँगा stake, how will I redeem only rewards from that stake rather than taking away the whole collateral as well. That was second round, and third round was live coding a Rust instruction, withdrawal instruction in a vault contract. So yeah, that was it.
Makes sense. ठीक है. Let's talk through the most, I don't know, anything interesting you've worked on in the past 6 months. It's been standard, day to day.
Which was not standard for me.
Or something new you learned.
I think programming like concurrent systems maybe, or making agentic systems.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that? What do you mean by agentic systems?
So for example, in Backstack we are integrating like AI, making agents and stuff. So the basic idea is the user will come, he'll make an app, right? So वो हमें database दे रहा है अपना, and is giving us things, and we are creating a whole package for him. तो अब इसमें main agentic चीज़ ये है कि हमें उससे कुछ लेना ही नहीं है. We'll just have to do everything for him. Okay. Make APIs for him. उसके अंदर की सारी चीज़ें हमें खुद करके देनी है. तो उसमें काफ़ी सारी agentic चीज़ें लगी कि कॉन्टेक्स्ट, उसके पूरे ऐप का कॉन्टेक्स्ट होना चाहिए, तो लॉन्ग फॉर्म मेमोरी वगैरह ये सब चीज़ें के बारे में सीखा है. LLM का थोड़ा सा आर्किटेक्चर भी पढ़ना पड़ता है कि मतलब क्या लिमिटेशंस हो सकती हैं उसकी, राइट? क्योंकि कभी कभी हेलुसिनेट कर जाता है, तो उसको कैसे करोगे तुम. वेक्टर डेटाबेसेस एज वेल, ऑल दीस थिंग्स.
So Backstack is like you can build your own backend, full backend by writing prompt.
इतना तो कुछ नहीं है शायद. There was just I just worked on the basic stuff. Just one thing was I was pretty much working on the AI stuffs, and I like worked deeply on it, like understood how vector database and all are working like under the hood, properly because they were like getting a lot of data and feeding it into AI, and they were expecting like everything proper latency, cost, and then accuracy that I had already talked to you about. And yep, that's all. I worked on AI stuff. I worked deeper into it, so that's a bit new for me.
वहाँ तो सब कुछ ही नहीं होगा, I would think.
Lot of context switching in multiple projects that like last whatever 6-8 months, I don't remember the timeline now, but like in that whole timeline I've worked on multiple projects, 5 to 6 projects. सबसे पहले I worked on Flutter and Python, didn't know that, worked on it. Program product mainnet पे कैसे deploy करना है, so everything from scratch, everything I worked on in that Swifey company. Dating app था, had to write my own bonding curve contract, bonding curve के resources नहीं थे, had to go through Twitter threads, docs, blogs, whatever gets me through and write that contract. सब पहली बार समझ आया how to get a contract audited for mainnet, then prep it for mainnet, add some considerations for mainnet, like functionality is not the only thing, you'll have to think about upgradability, let's say, for once. So how do you add reserved space for padding and etc. So these kind of things I learned through that. Then took those experiences when I was working on Wildcard. So and there obviously Swifey I also worked on agentic stuff, RAG वगैरह, because we were making, so I made almost the whole marketplace interface for it, contract backend, APIs, agents. Reason being क्योंकि we were making a tokenized dating agent marketplace where you can trade on agent tokens and speculate on it. That was one thing. And then while doing this wildcard wala thing, I worked on Helios webhooks, indexers. Then so pehla project wo tha. Then second project was learning how to create a mini app on Farcaster. So we also worked on that. And third, and learned how to index the blockchain for both Solana and EVM based blockchains. Third project was an explorer that I led. So how do you create an explorer? वो करा फिर उसके बाद now अब तो क्या कहते हैं, it's a now I'm fully onto Solana programs and indexing the blockchain wala stuff. So very interesting projects and multiple projects. इसमें बहुत context switching करी है, but
Got it. Makes sense. Anyone have any interesting negotiation stories? या सबकी negotiation थी नहीं? I don't think you negotiated. I don't think you negotiated either. तुम भी नहीं? Okay, cool, nice. What are your future plans in terms of that? It's common thought of people say कि you make more money in the long run if you switch a lot of jobs, which is very true. So as you can tell. So what are your thoughts there? And have you been looking out very candidly? Okay, what are your thoughts or future plans in terms of financial goals or otherwise? You said you wanted to go for a master's.
Yeah, so future plans तो कुछ ऐसे कि प्रोजेक्ट काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग है. सो मेरे दिमाग में एक टाइम लाइन है प्रोजेक्ट के लिए कि यहाँ तक इट विल बी लाइक अच्छे से हो जाएगा. सो तब तक आई वोंट लीव क्योंकि मतलब पैसे तो मतलब आ जाएंगे. बट द सेकंड प्लान इज गोइंग फॉर अ मास्टर्स इन US in especially the ML/AI field.
Got it. Makes sense. Have you done ML/AI before, or you just see the field growing, so you're like, let's do
नहीं, in my college days I did. Like मेरे जो final project था वो classifier ही था, basically image classifier था.
Got it.
So तब से मतलब, but उसके बाद मैं सब छूट दिया. So
got it. And you graduated?
2023.
23. Got it. Makes sense. Sort of perfect timeline if you want to go probably next year or something. Cool. What was your CGPA?
CGPA was 7.2.
Okay. Cool.
वही थोड़ा सा Web3 सीख रहा हूँ.
Okay.
Let's see what happens. अभी वैसा प्लान तो नहीं है, like I'll leave that and work on something else.
Okay.
पर देखते हैं where it goes.
Sounds good.
Future plans would be कि stick with them and work because they're Solana veterans. So
Makes sense. Next month दूसरी कंपनी
नहीं they're Solana veterans. मैं यही कहूँगा. Problem with me is that like I settled down for 3-4 months. I am very happy and whatnot. उसके बाद पता नहीं for some reason things start popping up कि what next and what next के चक्कर में I do stuff. But I'm like in the previous company too, I was very happy. Like I told you, I learned a lot from my team lead Abhinav and learned a lot from everyone generally. Like Fahad से भी सीखने को मिला था, who's younger than me, about how to structure a Rust code base, Rust backend code base, let's say. So those things I was learning. It's not like कि कभी सीखना छोड़ दिया या you know I'm chasing a new challenge. It has never been about that. It has just been कि पैसे. But like हाँ. But हाँ, like opportunity दिखेगी तो then I'll go for it. But like not here because I'm fully just blocking off. Twitter पे नहीं देखना hiring post, कुछ नहीं देखना. I'll just stick with them, learn about Solana, and if I crave multiple projects, it's a services company. I'll get to work on multiple projects. So it's not like कि मेरे को switch करना पड़ेगा या what not. Yeah, so I don't think I'll not switch. 2-3 years, stick with them, learn about Solana, SVM internals, try to learn a lot of it on my own, and let's see down the line, maybe do a startup of my own. वो मेरा हमेशा था, रहा ही है at the back of my mind. So maybe I raise money, pick up a grant or something. Yeah.
Makes sense. Cool. Last question. I think a lot of messages that I get are people very anxious of jobs or whatever. I don't know if you guys were in that state at all. So I just wanted to check 6 months ago, what was your mindset? Has it changed at all, or were you always very content and you knew something would happen, or was it a different state compared to the one right now? And if someone, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So अगर कोई beginner रहता है तो मतलब और वो ChatGPT खोले और के ऐप बना दो तो बना ही देगा, राइट? बट अगर कोड बेस काफ़ी बड़ा है, लाइक 30-40-50,000 लाइन्स ऑफ कोड है, सो आई डोंट थिंक इट हेल्प्स दैट मच, क्योंकि उसका कॉन्टेक्स्ट बहुत ही कम है. मतलब 1 मिलियन कॉन्टेक्स्ट साइज भी है, उसमें वो ग्रैस्प नहीं कर पाता सारी चीज़ें. सो आई थिंक इफ़ यू नो द पिटफॉल्स ऑफ AI कि कहाँ पे यूज़ सही है इसका और कहाँ पे ये मतलब पूरी तरीके से ख़राब कर देगा चीज़ें, देन यू विल बिकम अ बेटर डेवलपर. बट आई डोंट थिंक लाइक वरिंग विल हेल्प. या
But did you worry? Like, were you?
एक पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे जब काफी सारी चीजें नहीं आती थी, आई वाज वरीड अबाउट इट कि लाइक इफ द डेवलपर जॉब्स गेट ऑटोमेटेड तो maybe farming is the best.
Makes sense. Got it. So your anxiety came from here, not the market or anything, but from AI.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. तुम तो चिली हो गया, I think. You were freelancing before as well,
I
right?
was doing freelancing, पर हाँ वही मतलब उस पर कोई कांस्टेंट सोर्स ऑफ इनकम नहीं था. कभी कुछ ज़्यादा ही आ जाता था, अभी लाइक फिर जॉब तो चाहिए ही थी, फिर यहाँ पे आया चल.
Makes sense. हाँ सही है. तुम तो चिली थे जब से आए थे.
I was in a ulta state of theirs, क्योंकि क्या कहते हैं, I was in a perpetual state of worry एक टाइम पे, and then at least till spiky, and then when I got in I was very happy. worked, फिर क्या कहते हैं, छोड़ने के बाद I was like nah, सब हो जाए, अब टेंशन हो जाए, even though I didn't have anything in my hand, just one freelance thing.
Got it. Do you think knowledge, if you have knowledge, you realize you're smarter than other people, then the anxiety goes away कि हाँ मतलब मुझे आता ही है, जॉब आज नहीं तो कल लग जाएगी.
तो मतलब बहुत ही थोड़ा सा हॉट टेक है. मतलब एक मिनिमम लो बार IQ तो चाहिए, बट आफ्टर दैट नॉलेज उस IQ को कंपाउंड कर देगी, मतलब बहुत ही ज़्यादा. सो या तो मेरे हिसाब से इफ़ यू हैव नॉलेज अबाउट योर फील्ड और लाइक 80-20 वाला सीन है, 80% नॉलेज है फील्ड की, देन यू लाइक गो अफार. तुम्हारे बेसिक IQ जो है लाइक आई डोंट नो मे बी 100, फिर वो उस चीज़ को कंपाउंड कर देगा. लाइक इन वॉट एवर फील्ड यू गो, आई थिंक लर्निंग प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग इज मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट देन गेटिंग टू लाइक होल्ड नॉलेज इन एनी फील्ड. I think coding culture was pretty good in our college. So some people got placed in like Google and Facebook, all these. So एक hype create हो गया था, yeah, right. और हमारे बैच में काफ़ी सारे अच्छे placements भी थे. So yeah, coding culture is very much there. And I guess professors तो हर जगह मतलब same ही है. Everyone studies from YouTube and other courses. Right. So yeah, knowledge के लिए लोग बाहर सीखते हैं, but college friends बनाने के लिए, yes, relationships बनाने के लिए, उन सब के लिए. Yeah.
Are you still in touch with friends from college?
हाँ, वेरी मच इन टच विद फ्रेंड्स. तो उस टाइम पे एक ग्रुप हुआ करता था फ्रेंड्स वाला, तो अभी भी हैं सब लोग. काफ़ी बैंगलोर में हैं, कुछ यहाँ पे हैं, गुरुग्राम, काफ़ी टच में रहते हैं, बात भी करते रहते हैं कौन सी टेक्नोलॉजी पर काम कर रहे हो.
हमारे कॉलेज में तो ऐसा कोई भी नहीं है, मतलब कोई भी कोडिंग नहीं करता. बट आवर ग्रुप वाज गुड, लाइक एवरीवन कोड्स एंड दे नो बेटर. लाइक आवर ग्रुप इज द टॉप ग्रुप, लाइक दे आर द टॉप कोडर्स ऑफ आवर होल कॉलेज, आई वुड से.
Got it. Makes sense. And कितने लोगों का ग्रुप है जो तुम कह रहे हो, ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल? योर ग्रुप?
We 7-8
people.
My college is good. Like ठीक है, conventional form में terms में नहीं होगा तो tier 1 tier 2 whatever. पता नहीं, but like बच्चे अच्छे हैं, दे आर गुड लाइक मेरे, एंड आई रियलाइज दैट आफ्टर यू नो आई गॉट इन लाइक मैं कॉलेज से टच में नहीं हुआ था आफ्टर माई इंटर्नशिप इवन, बट लाइक बिकॉज आई गॉट पॉपुलराइज्ड इन द कॉलेज, तो क्या कहते हैं उसके थ्रू आई गॉट रीच्ड आउट कि भैया मैं भी यहाँ से हूँ, ये कर रहा हूँ, एंड ऐसे ऐसे करते करते बाई द एंड ऑफ माई कॉलेज आई रियलाइज कि हाँ देर आर गुड पीपल, लाइक आई थिंक यू माइट नो तने Vaswani. He's from my college. There are other people who are from my college. There are good people from my college. Like generally हाँ. But दिक्कत बस ये है कि ecosystem distributed है. I have taken अब 1-2 workshops कि क्या कहते हैं to try and you know make that experience for them better कि क्या कहते हैं so that they don't have a distributed ecosystem and क्या कहते हैं interconnected सा रहता है थोड़ा ecosystem. So yeah, but generally high level distributed है ecosystem, but they're good people.
I think Maharaja Agreshan is a great college. My best friend is from Maharaja Agreshan. Kunal Kushwaha. Question is, how do you find communities which sometimes you need, sometimes you don't. I don't know if you need it in your college. You probably need it in your college. Tomorrow college it's debatable. But you know, maybe a community helps, maybe it doesn't. How can someone find it, especially again for anxious kids?
I mean, अगर like first principle से सोचें इसमें भी तो if you don't have anyone around you तो where would you look? Social media of course, right? YouTube and Twitter. अब वहाँ पे किसी के साथ तुम्हारी vibe connect हो रही है and he is a genuine guy like you were for me, right? From cohort उसके बाद Super30 आया, तो that's how you find people, communities through the internet, I guess. That's how it works everywhere in the world. Like तुम बहुत ही niche में जा रहे हो कुछ, I don't know, information security or Web3 वगैरह, so you'll find it on the internet only.
I agree. Yeah, that's a good answer.
Generally, Discord is your best friend. We have our own communities on Discord. If you want to join, yeah, I'll link you with some people. But like yeah, you find communities. अगर नहीं है आसपास तो you find it. That is the simple answer. I needed a community to give me an initial push. Community से ज़्यादा I just needed a group to look up to या look forward, work with थोड़ा सा to give me an initial push, and then it has all been very self-driven. So maybe you need that, at least in my case, maybe you people need that, you know, initial push from people. या आसपास देख के FOMO थोड़ा सा feel करके push चाहिए होता होगा initially. But like हाँ, if you don't have it in your college, try going on Discord. Try plugging in cohort लो 100x cool. तो कहते हैं join Discord communities, join, and Twitter पे everyone publicizes these days what they are doing. If you want to be connected, you can be connected. थोड़ा सा effort मारना पड़ता है of finding people, I think.
I don't think it's hard to find a single person who is smarter than you.
Right.
Like if you find that person, then you can find a person is smarter than him. Like he knows a person is smarter than him. Like that, we can get to a community. For me, that person was Sargam. Obviously, he got me into this community, and I got to meet a lot of people like who are smarter than me. And yeah, I think we can get to community like that.